Hi, this is very exciting. My name is Chris Parry. I'm the head teacher of Lewis School Pengam, and welcome to Pengam. This is the closest I'm ever going to get to being a TV presenter. The only thing that I'm hoping is that somebody's actually watching and I'm not talking to thin air. But these, unfortunately, are the times in which we live, and whilst we would love to be welcoming you into school at the minute to have a good look round, we're still not in a position at the minute where we can do that safely for everybody. I am very hopeful by the time we get to next summer that we will be seeing you with your sons in school, so you can all have a good look around our building and see us all in person. In the meantime, however, this is the best way we've got to communicate with you, and I hope that you find the information that we provide tonight useful and helpful to you. What I would say is right at the beginning of this, really, this is the best way that we found to kind of get this information out for you. And although, as I just said, it's quite stressful because we've got to get all the bits to work, it is something that we can put on. And should we feel like that there's a demand or an interest in us doing an evening like this again, or providing some information to you, we can always find some time to do that. So basically, this is where I'm at the minute. Some of you may know me because you've had children in school before. Unfortunately, some of you may know me because I taught you, and as I get older and have even less hair than I have at the minute, I'm recognizing the fact that many of the boys who are turning up in school are the sons of the young men who I taught many years ago. So I think now this is my 24th year in Pengam, and I've been head for 8 years now. And so, like, my job tonight is really just to present a little bit an overview of what you're going to see, and just talk a little bit about the school now. If you did ever attend school, or even if you had a son who's attended here previously and maybe you haven't kind of been in touch with us for a few years, it's always really useful to touch base and see where we are at the minute. Probably for me, these are the three or four most important points that I want to make to you tonight, really, and I want to emphasize these more than anything. My job, principally and mainly over the last 18 months, is to make sure that all these things are in place, and really to make a commitment to you about what I know your sons are going to experience when they come to this school. So number one, the key thing for me at the minute is we continue to be absolutely focused on the safety of the young people that come to us in school. Clearly, for a very long time now, there have been restrictions in place to make sure that as many people as we can experience as normal an experience in school in terms of their learning and education, without the threat of COVID hanging over us. Unfortunately, at this time, like many schools in South Wales, we're seeing larger numbers of COVID than probably you've ever seen before. Touch wood, everybody at the minute is kind of coming through that okay, right? We are very hopeful that as we move forward, that we will see less and less disruption from this. But as things stand, it is still my main priority in school to make sure that everybody who comes here has as full an experience as they can inside school, whilst also remaining safe. I believe that we've done that really effectively over the last 18 months to 2 years, and we'll continue to do so in the future. So that's the first thing, really, that I'm making that commitment to you, that when your sons come to this school, that they are going to be safe and they're going to enjoy their time as well. The second thing that I'll talk about briefly, but there'll be more information on it later, is that I'm very much committed to making sure that the curriculum that your sons will engage with while they come to school is going to be interesting and fun and exciting, and in line with all the changes the Welsh Government is trying to introduce at the minute inside school. We'll have much more on that later, but that has been something that we've been on the front line of engaging with over the last probably 5 or 6 years, and we are probably one of the schools in Wales that is absolutely ready to go with the new curriculum, mainly because we're actually delivering those types of lessons now. So if so one of the things that you're going to notice, and we'll talk about it in a bit, is the curriculum and lessons that your sons engage with in school may feel very different to the lessons that you did when you came to secondary school. However, those lessons do reflect all the basic skills and requirements that you probably did too, right? We'll just give a bit more of an explanation later to show where we're at. The next thing that I want to absolutely talk about is the fact that we're committed as well to the participations of your son in school. And what I mean by that is we want everybody who comes to us in Pengam to have as active a role as they possibly can. and to enjoy their time here. So what we try to do is make sure that everybody gets involved as much as possible in all the activities that we put on. So everything from sport to music to visits to different places. You know, we try to make sure that as many people as we can in school are involved in that and enjoy that as much as we can. It's a crucial part of our life here, and we've always had a really kind of colourful and really rich experience for young people who come through our door. And I just want to make sure that we continue that into the future, and you know, the next generation of pupils coming to us are going to experience as much as they possibly can and really have a fantastic time here. All of those things together leads me to my last point. This is a very successful school. It has been for quite a long period of time now, certainly in many of the years that I've been teaching or a head here. Over the last 3 years, despite the impact of COVID, we've seen either exam results back in 2019, the last exam set we set, or the kind of teacher assessed grades that we've undertaken over the last 2 years being the highest that they've ever been in school. And we know as well that pupils that have been leaving us and going off into employment and into further and higher education have kind of accessed courses at the highest level that we've ever known, right? It genuinely is a really exciting and a successful school. Now, we know that when your sons come to us, they're going to have a fantastic experience, but we want to make sure that in 5 or 6 years, 7 years time, that they're also going to go on to be able to achieve the dreams that they have. So that remains my priority and main focus. And as you meet the other key members of our team in school through the course of this evening, I hope you'll see that there are real grounds for me believing that this is the best version of Pengam that I've ever experienced, and just really being excited to see your sons come to our school in the future, and really enjoy themselves. So you'll see a variety of different people now talking about Lewis and the things that are going on inside school, and I'll probably come back at the end as the really boring person just to say goodbye to you all as well, right, with a few final messages. So next I'm going to introduce you to Zoe Mendham, assistant head teacher in school, and she's going to talk a little bit about the curriculum and what we're offering.
Hello. So as Mr. Parry said there are a lot of changes in education in Wales at the minute. All right, we've got the new curriculum coming in, and what we've been doing at Lewis School Pengam is we've been planning towards delivering that curriculum for a number of years now. About 4 or 5 years ago, we introduced the Lewis School Pengam Challenge curriculum. That has 6 areas. The 6 areas reflect the new areas of learning and experience that are in the new curriculum for Wales. So we've got creativity, which is the expressive arts area of learning, citizenship, which is the health and well-being, community, which delivers the humanities subjects, communication, calculation, and construction. I'll just tell you a little bit about each of these. I won't go into a great amount of detail because you've got a video that you can watch on each of these areas of learning, and that will tell you from that subject lead or that area lead a little bit more about that subject. So if we look at creativity, okay, so this is the expressive arts. At the moment, we offer drama, art and music. There will be opportunities in the future, and we are looking to develop then the dance, film and digital media. These subjects have their own kind of knowledge and skills in the different disciplines, but they all share the creative process. Students will get the chance to perform, create, critique the work of others and their own, and also appreciate the creative work of others. There's chances to learn instruments, okay, to perform. Hopefully at the minute, obviously we've got COVID restrictions, but Christmas concerts, things like that. There are opportunities throughout the year to put on performances. Citizenship. So this is where we encourage students to take care of their physical health, to take responsibility really for that, and their emotional health. They look at healthy relationships, their identity, social influences. And this is something that, due to pupil voice, okay, that our pupils felt very strongly that these lessons were important. We've actually devoted more time to this on the curriculum for this year, and we will be doing the same next year as well. And that's as a result of pupils telling us that these lessons are important to them and they want more opportunities to discuss issues that matter to them. Community, so this is where the humanities subjects are delivered. our priority at the minute has just been the sort of traditional three: geography, history and RE. But again, we are looking to build in economics, some sort of business studies and other subjects into this area. With this area of learning, rather than have three separate teachers to deliver geography, history and RE, students in year 7 will have one teacher now to deliver each of those three subjects under the banner of community. And we find it just reducing the number of teachers that year 7 have when they come in. So instead of having 7, 8, 9 different teachers, having less teachers just helps them develop those relationships, and I think has benefited the year 7s that have joined us this year and in previous years. Communication. So this is where we deliver languages, so students have an opportunity in year 7 to study French, Welsh and English. We get them to engage with literature, books, poetry, read. As well as reading, they get to create their own. So we look at developing their creative skills, not just through writing, but through film and digitally as well. They do a lot of green screen work on the iPads, so they get to create a lot of work digitally, as well as having to write things. Each of these communication lessons that they have, there's one library lesson that they can attend over the course of a fortnight, and Mr. McCarthy will say a little bit more about that sort of library lesson and what we're doing here to develop their literacy skills when she speaks to you in a bit. Calculation. I guess this is the area of learning and experience that has changed the least. Basically, it's maths and numeracy. So we do a lot of work here on problem solving. We're trying to develop confident, fluent mathematicians. We encourage them to take risks, just to develop that resilience that they need to be able to solve problems. And the 6th area of learning is construction, science and technology. Again, we're able to reduce the number of teachers here, and there will be one teacher to deliver the science and technology part of the curriculum. So we did get to look at innovative designs, solutions to design or engineering problems, look at the diversity of living things, and we just try to get their curiosity going, I suppose, to look at what the world could be like in the future. There's a kind of a lot going around at the minute, I suppose, with green energy. They'll look at all that type of thing in those lessons. All of the lessons are underpinned by skills, so to develop their literacy, numeracy and digital competence skills. We've mapped the skills across the curriculum. The way that we delivered them at Lewis School Pengam, I think is quite innovative. So we've got the subject specialist, so an English specialist, a maths specialist, delivering those literacy and numeracy skills first in their communication lesson or their calculation lessons. And then we've looked at other opportunities over the course of the year where students can revisit those in the other areas of learning, so they get opportunities to apply those skills and then consolidate those skills through the year. I'll pass you on now to Ms. McCarthy, and she'll speak to you a little bit more about the planning behind each of those areas of learning.
Okay, good evening everyone, noswaith dda. So I'm Mrs. McCarthy and I'm assistant head here at Lewis School Pengam. So at LSP, we ensure that the pupil is at the centre of all that we do. As an educationally inclusive school, we firmly believe that the teaching and learning, achievements, attitudes and well-being of every young person matters. Their academic experience, their enrichment experiences, the opportunities offered to our pupils, as well as the pastoral care and well-being are of paramount importance to us here at Lewis School Pengam. Every moment counts in life and in the education of the young people who are part of our Lewis School Pengam family. So we strive to ensure that they have every opportunity to succeed and to have an enriched secondary school career with us here. So what does this actually mean with regards to their academic experiences in the classroom and beyond? Well, as Mr. Parry has already mentioned, over the last few years, we have been at the forefront of developing a new curriculum for our pupils in year 7 and 8. We are extremely fortunate to have very experienced and skilled staff who endeavour to plan, resource and deliver high quality teaching and learning experiences to all. Our curriculum is broad, balanced and rich in its content, which allows our pupils to gain, to develop and to deepen their understanding and skills, ultimately achieving their potential as individuals. But we work as a partnership. That means the teacher, the pupil and the home. We all work together to ensure that our pupils, your child, achieves. So the curriculum is planned with the 4 purposes as a firm foundation to all, allowing our pupils to develop as ambitious and capable learners, enterprising, creative contributors, ethically informed citizens, and healthy and confident individuals. All highly important attributes of a successful 21st century citizen. I'm sure you'd all agree with me. So here at Lewis School Pengam, we have a thematic curriculum, which allows each challenge area to have a broad theme and a big question which focuses the learning. So these themes are delivered over the course of each half term. And examples of our whole school themes are Cynefin, identity, diversity, celebrate, ignite, explore and growth, just to name a few. So most challenge areas then decide on a big question to allow for focused learning experiences, allowing our pupils to access highly purposeful and relevant learning experiences. At present, and in 2022, our year 7 and 8 classes will be of mixed ability, and our highly skilled staff deliver learning experiences that challenge and support all of our learners to make the expected progress within the challenge area. So we hope that you are starting to get excited for your time here with us at Lewis School Pengam. Let's go on to the enrichment experiences. So academic success is highly important, but we also firmly believe that education is also about gaining experiences, which develop us all as well-rounded individuals. How many of us parents or guardians still have fond memories of those extra experiences that we may have had during our time in school? At Lewis School Pengam, we will have an enrichment programme for all of our pupils. What is this, you may ask? Well, we will strive to deliver a programme of experiences based on potentially 60 opportunities for our pupils to access through the challenge areas and beyond, and with the aim of completing all of these experiences by the age of 16. These experiences could include public speaking, swimming session, orienteering, singing on stage, publishing your work in a book, volunteering in the community, and so forth. And these experiences will allow and support our pupils in developing as learners, contributors, citizens and individuals. So what a great opportunity, I'm sure you'd agree with me. More about this will be shared with you throughout the year in our transition information booklet that we will send to you. In addition to this, we also have a well-established, extensive and varied extracurricular programme. And these span from the vast range of sporting opportunities to the creative arts such as film club, music and art clubs and beyond. So there's plenty on offer, whatever your interest may be. Furthermore, in order to develop our pupils as leaders, they are encouraged to become class representatives to the many whole school initiatives and groups we have here. These include the school council, Eco Club, the Crew Cymreig, the digital leader and the sporting captains, to name just a few. And lastly on this slide, but by no means least, trips. Over the years, pupils have had the opportunity to attend a wide range of trips. We endeavour to organise trips at ranging cost in order to ensure that as many pupils as possible can access these. These range from the one-day trip to the theatre, the theme park and the Ponte Lido, to our residential trips in Llangrannog or Glanllyn, to the international visits to destinations such as America, Poland, France, Spain, Austria and Singapore. So there are many opportunities to look forward to. I feel it important to share this with you tonight, our accelerated reader programme. Miss Mendham has touched on this previously. As a school, we value the importance of developing our pupils' literacy, numeracy and digital skills, as these form the foundations of all that we do here and for the rest of our lives. But reading is paramount importance to us at Lewis School Pengam. Therefore, we firmly invest in the accelerated reader programme, which supports our pupils in developing their reading skills. So yes, pupils are expected to read 20 minutes every evening at home. But in addition to this, an hour every week is dedicated to them to access our wonderful library. So you may ask why? Well, let's look at the figures. So pupils who read at least 20 minutes a day will be exposed to a staggering 1.8 million words a year. So the progress in reading, in turn, supports the writing skill. Therefore, as a whole package, this can lead to great rewards and outcomes in our pupils' academic success. So this is nearly all from me this evening before I hand you over to Mrs. Oliver, Head of Lower School. But please can I remind you that there are videos on our YouTube channel and the address was shared on our open evening invite, which is here. Here you can access brief overviews of each of the challenge areas that we have mentioned this evening. There will be a detailed video from our Elenco, Miss Clark, and you will also, we'll meet shortly. And there's also a short video there to show our school. Throughout the year, we will continue to share information with you. A transition booklet will, with uniform details, etc., will be sent via email in due course. But please, 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 if you have any questions, please contact us on the email contact@lsp.wales. So I apologise about the length of my part because I do get a bit excited when I share what we offer our pupils here at Lewis School Pengam. So that is all from me, and I hope to see you in September to welcome you to our school. Mrs. Oliver, it's over to you. Diolch yn fawr.
Hello everyone. Right, let me just get this up and running. Hopefully you can all hear me because I was on mute last year for a few minutes, so nobody knew what on earth I was saying, but I think I'm okay for now. So I just want to say croeso, welcome to our school. Although we can't welcome you properly, as Mr. Parry said, I still want to give you an idea of what to expect when you come to Year 7. So although I am talking to parents and carers, I am hoping that we've got a few future students listening in today as well. So I'd like to introduce you to some of the team via this slideshow and just give you an idea of what to expect when you come here. Of course, you will hopefully have the opportunity to come and visit us in person before you start here in the summer, but this does give you some sort of idea. So in the lower school team, we have myself. So I'm Mrs. Oliver and I'm head of lower school, which means I'll be your head of year when you're in year 7 and 8. You'll see me most days. I'll be out on the yard in the morning to greet you and to bring you into school. And my office is allocated on the same floor as you, so you'll see me around quite a lot. The other important person that you will meet as part of the Year 7 and 8 team is Miss Thomas. She's Associate Head of Lower School. She works alongside with me. She's also a communication teacher. So if she is a communication teacher when you're in Year 7, you'll see her most days and you'll be able to ask her anything about the day as you see her in her lessons and as you see her around on the top floor. Mrs. Davis also works with us on the top floor. She's the attendance and wellbeing officer. She works just with year 7 and 8. She's also located on the top floor. And what's great about Mrs. Davis is because she isn't a teacher, she's always available. She's got a room up on the top floor. So if you are late into school, if you've forgotten your kit, if you haven't got a pen or a pencil, any little things like that, you can pop in to see Mrs. Davis and she can sort that out for you. Again, if you want to contact home, if you're feeling a bit unwell or if you're feeling a little bit lost that day, she can help you out and she can sort that out for you, no problem. Also, if you know you aren't going to be in school on a certain day, your parents and carers can contact Mrs. Davis and let her know your reason for absence, or if you're ill one day, she has a direct line, you can contact her and let her know. So there are plenty of people always about for you to talk to if you need anything at all. Now, another new addition this year to the pastoral team is one that I think you're going to be quite excited about. This is Aled. And Aled works very closely with Mr. Berry. He's Mr. Berry's dog, but he's also a dog that comes into LSP. He's our dog as well. He sort of works part-time in school. He's been working with lower school most recently. He'll help pupils with their reading. Sounds a bit crazy, but a lot of our learners are not very confident with reading, but they will happily sit in a room with Aled and read a story to him. They might just need a little bit of emotional or well-being support. Aled can do that, and it's lovely just to see him bounding up and down the corridor on his lead with Mr. Berry. Certainly cheers us all up. And another thing about Aled is that he can only understand commands in Cymraeg. So it allows our pupils and some staff just to practice a little bit of their Welsh words because Aled only understands Cymraeg. But he is really looking forward to meeting all of you next year. You'll be seeing a lot of him. So I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what it looks like here and what you can expect when you start in year 7. So if we go just to the bottom left here, you can see the yard. Now, the great thing about year 7 and 8 is you've got everything of your own. It's quite daunting, I think, coming to big school and you've gone from primary and suddenly you're in this big school here and you're not sure what's what, but don't worry about it. Everything that you've got here, we've tried to make it so that it is a little bit like primary school, starting with your own yard. So excuse the photograph, I did take it today on a very rainy day, but it still looks quite bright and cheery and colourful. So we've got some shelters out on the yard there. We've got basketball hoops, you can't quite see them in that photograph. We've got footballs, rugby balls, basketballs, all sorts of things that you can play with at break time and lunchtime out there. As I said, that is your own yard. You will share that with year 8. So some of the older pupils that perhaps can be a little bit more boisterous, they've got their own yard as well. So this yard is just for lower school. So on that yard in the morning, I will come out and greet you with your tutors and we will take you up to the top floor where you were based. So you will come up the stairwell. It's a bit of a boring photograph of some stairs there, but I just wanted to try and show you what it looks like. So you'll come up the stairwell and then you'll come out of the double doors. Now you've got your own stairwell, so just for year 7 on one side and year 8 are on the other. So it's always just you all together contained. You come up then through the double doors at the top there. And when you come through those double doors, you will see the photograph there. And that is just the floor for year 7. So on that floor there, we've got 4 classrooms and those classrooms are just yours. So as you can see in the photograph in the bottom right there, that shows you what one of your classrooms would look like. It's just you in that classroom. Year 7 and 8 are very, very proud of their classrooms. They look after them. They want to keep them, you know, looking nice and clean. They're very proud of them. You will have the majority of your lessons in your classroom. So nobody else uses them. You can keep your belongings there. You can leave your bags there. They're very safe. Nobody else in the school will use your classroom. You will go to different areas around the school, of course, because you can't do all of your lessons in the one class. So for things like PE, music, art and tech, you will go to different areas of the school. And for the first couple of weeks, your teachers will come and pick you up from your classroom and they'll take you down there until you get used to finding your way around. So you've got your own yard, your own stairwell, your own floor, which is located on the top floor. I'm on the one side, Miss Thomas is on the other side, and Mrs Davis is in a little room in the middle. So we're all around. Your tutors are around you as well. There are always lots of people all around you. You also have as well in lower school your own Chromebooks. So each classroom has got a Chromebook trolley. You'll use your Chromebooks to access work, to do your research in all the various topics and lessons and curriculum areas. They're a fantastic resource, and of course they do come in very useful at the moment if you're working from home, and you can access all of your work via Google Classroom. So even if you aren't in school, you're always in touch with your teachers, and you're always in the loop. You're always able to keep up with your work. So that's kind of what to expect when you come here on the top floor. When you visit in the summer now of next year, you'll be able to see all of this for yourselves, but I wanted to give you just a little idea of what to expect. There's so much to do here. I know Miss Mendham and Mrs McCarthy have talked a little bit about this, so I don't want to repeat myself, but between the clubs, the activities, the sports, the trips, your 7 are going on a trip tomorrow to Caerphilly. They're going on the train. They've organised that trip themselves. There are many learning opportunities here. You won't be stuck for something to do at LSP. Please do take a look at the videos at the end of this evening, or at any time that you like, just to go and have a look at all of the fantastic things that go on in school. So I know we're making everything sound very exciting, but I know some of you are probably feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit nervous about coming to big school. And I'm just talking to parents and carers right now, because your children are probably very excited, but it's your parents that are probably kind of worrying about you coming here. But honestly, you know, even though it's a big change, we're here to help and prepare you, and we've got enough time between now and then to get you ready to come in here. People are, you know, some of our pupils in year 7, 8, when I've asked them what were the things that they were worrying about the most, these were some of the things that they'd said. It's normally always the same types of things. Bullying, unfortunately, bullying does happen. It happens everywhere, but we have a zero tolerance approach to bullying in our school. Once we know about it, we can do something about it. So we would always encourage you to share how you feel. If anything is going on, even if it's bullying, schoolwork, whatever it is, as long as you share with somebody, if it's a friend, a teacher, your tutor, even if it's your parents and carers, they can tell us what's going on. A lot of pupils are afraid about getting lost, obviously, because compared to your primary schools, our school is pretty big by comparison. But like I've said, you're mostly up on the top floor anyway, and you'll quite quickly get to know your way around and the different areas that you'll be going to. Some of our students have said they were worried about not having any friends, or at least not being with their friends. We've always tried to make sure that you've got at least one friend in your class with you. And if for whatever reason it turns out when you come here that hasn't happened, we can make that change to make sure that you are happy in your class and that you're happy coming to school every day. So please don't worry about that. And of course, you're going to make new friends. Some also have said they were worrying that the work is going to be hard. Well, yeah, sometimes it might be quite hard. It might be quite challenging, but then if you came here knowing everything, you wouldn't need to come to school. So some of the work might be a bit difficult, but of course your teachers are there to help you. And all you have to do is ask for help. The year 7 team are fantastic. They're used to working with year 7 and 8. They know that some things are going to be new to you, but they are there to help. So please, as long as you let them know how you're feeling, and if you're struggling with anything, then they can definitely help you out there. And break time and lunchtime, sometimes some of our pupils have said they didn't really want to be out on a big yard with lots of pupils out there. Of course, it's only year 7 and 8, but sometimes it can be quite overwhelming being outside, especially if there's football games and rugby games going on. We've got plenty of classrooms up on your floor. If you don't want to go out for break or lunchtime, every day or just sometimes, there's always somewhere where you can go. You will not be on your own. You'll not be left somewhere that you don't want to be. Okay. As I've said, any worries, any questions that you have, they can be answered before you even arrive. We'll visit your primaries, Ms. Thomas and myself, before the summer term. before you start with us, and you will also visit our school, and you'll get to experience all the different areas here, and you'll be able to have the opportunity to go down to PE, to music, everywhere, and have a look at all of these things for yourselves. We've got plenty of time to answer any questions or any worries that you might have about anything. So what I would say is, when you come here, try everything. We've got so much on offer here. I don't think any of you will be bored here, certainly not. Be yourself, absolutely be yourself. Everybody in our school fits in. Every person matters is something that we say all the time. We're a very inclusive school, and we'd encourage you to be absolutely yourself when you come here. And enjoy every minute, because time goes by very quickly. I'm sure your parents and carers would say that they feel like they were just dropping you off to primary school, and now here we are on a year 5 and 6 open evening talking about you coming to big school. So enjoy every single minute of it. And in the meantime, there are plenty of ways that you can communicate with us if you do have any concerns, if you want to get in touch with us at any time. Our email addresses are here, they'll be shared with you, and we're also always sharing things via social media. So if you want to start looking now at the types of things that we do in Lower School and that we do in Lewis School Pengam, have a look at our Facebook page and Twitter, because we're always sharing things that we do via those social media links. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. Miss Clark, I think we're over to you next. Diolch yn fawr.
Good evening. Thank you for your time this evening. I know it's getting on now. I can see it's getting dark outside. My name's Hannah Clark. I'm the ALNCO at Lewis School Pengam. So normally during open evening, I get the chance to meet you and your young person for the first time. It really is a shame that we're not able to do that this evening. However, I thought I'd try and do my best to try and anticipate some of your questions and your concerns, and just chat through how some things work here in our ALN department at Lewis School Pengam. So as Mrs. Oliver was saying, the Year 7 transition is quite a journey for all of our young people, but it can be especially daunting if your child has additional learning needs too. There is an information video about our ALN department to follow later on this evening. Mrs. McCarthy referred to it earlier, and during that video we've got all our contact details are listed on there for you, so please don't hesitate to contact us at any point with any questions that you might have. What I'll try to do is just anticipate a few of those now, because sometimes those concerns are the same for a lot of parents whose children have additional learning needs. So the first question I usually get asked is, how does transition work if my child has an additional learning need? He's very anxious about it all. So the transition process usually begins in Year 5 for a lot of pupils with ALN. If that hasn't happened this year, then don't panic, because this year and the year before it have not been usual at all. Class teachers, ALNCOs, and sometimes head teachers, they begin to organise meetings between parents and schools. These meetings are often called PCP meetings, and as Mrs. McCarthy mentioned earlier, this is an approach that we adopt in school readily. So it stands for person-centred practice, and essentially it means that the young person is at the centre of all our planning and all our decision making. So these meetings will be discussed with you by your primary school link person, whoever they may be. If your young person is statemented or is receiving some support from an external agency, so there's so many agencies out there that are supporting lots of our young people, but just a few of them would be Speech and Language Service, perhaps the Caerphilly Autistic Spectrum Service, or even Children's Services, to name a few. If that's happening for you and you're getting some extra support, then really we should meet as a big group to make a personalised and appropriate plan for your child. So if you think this might be you, then ask your primary school to make sure that I'm invited to any of your child's PCP meetings, please. In addition to the more formal meetings and information sharing, then we also like your child to take part in our enhanced transition programme. So Mrs. Oliver referred to the entire transition programme, but sometimes for some pupils who have additional learning needs, we like to make that a bit more regular, the visits a bit more regular, a bit more information sharing, a bit more support around that system. So this has been a bit of a challenge over the last 2 years. However, as the time approaches, we will find a way for your child to have a look around the building, to know their way around, to feel familiar, to meet their key people, and to really get a feel for what their day will look like in LSP. This is really important so that we can anticipate any anxieties that you or your child may have and make sure that we address them in good time before they arrive. Another common question is, what provisions do you have for my child? How are you going to help him when he comes up to school? So this is quite a tricky one to address to a wide audience because it's very person-centred, as we mentioned, and it's very specific to a child's needs. However, we do have expertise in several different areas, which I'll just explain briefly to you now. We have an ASD specialist higher level teaching assistant, Mrs. Oliver. So not the lovely Mrs. Oliver you met tonight, and we have another Mrs. Oliver too. And she runs her own classroom on the Year 7 floor as well. So this space is an excellent provision for those people who need a safe space. They may need their key person and they may need regular time out. Mrs. Oliver is also excellent at adapting timetables, lesson resources and other things to ensure that your child can access the information they need on a daily basis. In terms of your child's emotional or social well-being, we are a Thrive school. So many of your children will be receiving Thrive intervention in your primary schools, because I know a lot of us in our Lewis School Pengam cluster share this methodology in school. So if you wish for this to continue in secondary school, then that's definitely something that we can do. So we have Thrive. We also have emotional learning support assistance. We have lots of other social communication and emotional interventions as well, which we run in small groups or individually. We assign these quite flexibly to the person and to the need. Sometimes the person will need this support from the day they arrive in school, and sometimes as the ebb and flow of life goes through the years in school, we will assign it when we need to, and then maybe that person feels they don't need that support any longer. Our teachers, they're all trained to differentiate and support a wide range of additional needs. Mrs. McCarthy touched upon it earlier. In more complex cases then as well, we work closely with Gyffili Advisory Teaching Team, who help us to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our pupils. Some of those pupils might struggle with dyslexia, they might have learning difficulties or communication difficulties, for example. If you want to discuss those options in more detail, and in a more specific manner for your child, and please do get in touch, because it's difficult to address everybody's needs in this wide arena. Lots of parents might ask, will my child get support? So the answer to this question is invariably yes, they will, but the level of support varies according to your child's needs. So we have a really robust pastoral system, as Mrs. Oliver, head of Year 7's just been discussing with you. This system provides an awful lot of stability for our young people. But on top of that, we have a team of 13 LSAs who support our pupils both in lessons and for withdrawn activities too. If your child is accessing specific support in primary school at the moment, a PCP meeting would be advised to ensure that we know exactly what works for your child. So if you're in doubt, please speak to your primary school ALNCO or their class teacher, or just give us a call here at school and we'll do the legwork for you. Whatever your child's needs are, we hope to provide the support that he needs, and also any support that your family may need too. We're a really friendly, approachable staff. We do our very best to get the very best for your child. So please, if you have anything you'd like to discuss, get in touch with us, and have a lovely evening, and thank you very much for your time. Mr. Parry, over to you, I believe.
See, that was because I was talking next door. Thanks to everybody. That I'm sure you agree, right? That's some fantastic information that's provided. It will feel quite overwhelming, in the sense that there's a lot of information that we're given in a short period of time. So I kind of think that this is your job really as parents and as pupils, is to recognise the fact that this is the beginning of a journey, not the end. And so this is the first night that we're really introducing ourselves to you as prospective parents and pupils in Year 7 next year. And we will carry on with this journey through the year. So there's a number of different ways, as everybody said tonight, that you can keep in touch with us. You know, not least just go into our school Facebook page, official Lewis School Pengam, you know, and then through email and through contacting the school. So, you know, keep up to date with us. And our pages and our transition page that we've got on our social media platforms. But also, I think it's really important as well as parents, there probably isn't all the parents here tonight that we would want to speak to. So when you're going to school at the minute, if you're dropping the kids off at school, or if you're chatting amongst yourselves and you hear that somebody's missed out on joining us tonight for this evening, please let them know the things that you've learned. And if they are concerned at all about anything, please encourage them to get in touch with us, and then we will answer their questions. Like I say, through the year, we'll be back in touch. We can offer a variety of different formats to kind of answer your questions, and I'm really hopeful that by the time we get to next summer, that we will be in a position to kind of have you and have your children in school with us, so you can really see what we're all about. Until then, I'm really grateful for everybody that's given up their time tonight to kind of join us, and hopefully we'll see you all soon. So thanks to all my staff for their brilliant presentations. We'll see you soon. Bye everybody. Bye.